Can't you return me to the old man now? Bei Hurayong was raging. In the cramped room, it was inhumane for more than a single person to be in it, though. He was a ghost, so he was a blind spot in human rights. Could you take it if you had a 3-meter mosquito buzzing? Really? Even if I wanted to do it, I can't. You copied me with your skill. Then you should be able to cancel it. Don't you know how to give a refund? Refund? What kind of world is it these days with no refund? I can't cancel it. I'd explained how the skill was copied. But even after hearing the explanation, the ghost still bothered me in vain, wanting me to send it back to the Sword Saint. Old man Marcus. Disciple. Master Li has been kidnapped. Your one and only teacher has been kidnapped by a child. Even then, this ghost turned in the air and began to shout. Geez, you ugly student. This all happened because you ignored your precious master. I was afraid of this happening, that's why I told you to treat your teacher like the heavens. Excuse me. He was giving me a hard time. I'd lost the fear of seeing a ghost in real life for the first time. Fear? That was something. No matter how scary it would give anyone a headache if this was how it acted. Let's just live quietly, please. Okay? What do you mean live? I'm already dead. Then please die quietly. No. Do I look like a fucking dog? You're scolding a ghost that's already dead and afraid to die another time. Everyone in the neighborhood, look at this bastard. From the beginning, there's nothing I couldn't say. Wow. I opened my mouth in shock. What the? This was my first time seeing a ghost in real life, but it talked too much. No, it's the first time seeing someone talk too fucking much. And then I realized. I could understand why the Sword Saint was talking to himself at the bar. Come to think of it, the Sword Saint kept mumbling, but the content that he talked about was pretty monotonous. Shut up. Don't be so noisy. You're too loud. I'll take care of it, so leave it alone. 99% of what he said was about noise. He'd been babbling at the side like he had a mental illness. That constant muttering. If it was a ghost like this. What the? Did you just talk to me? At your age. You dare to speak up to me? Damn it. My shoulders sagged subconsciously. My future looked bleak. I'll have to avoid the Sword Saint for the rest of my life. No matter what skill I got, I didn't expect a ghost to come out. I have to live away from that old man. What kind of bullshit is that? Bei Hurayong shook his head. Where's a hunter as good as old man Marcus? He's my disciple, but he's still a good old man. Oh, but never talk about his grandkids. He's usually pretty nice, but when it comes to his grandkids, he gets crazy. I already know that. I sighed. There is a skill that the Sword Saint has. What is it called? The one that tells the number of people a person has killed. Detective's insight? It's a fucking crap skill. Bei Hurayong responded quite quickly indeed. So that was the name of the kill counting skill? Detective's insight? The ghost seemed to know all of the Sword Saint's skills. What about it? It's only useful to find out if someone is an assassin or not. Besides, there's no guarantee that someone is an assassin simply because they killed a lot of people. The number is 4091. The kill count floating above my head. The number is 4091. Bei Hurayong looked dumbfounded. He frowned. Somehow, the facial expressions of this ghost was better than many living people. What? This guy? Are you crazy? I think I will really be crazy if I have to spend one more day with you. You're so noisy. No, you're a complete beginner. Bei Hurayong's facial expression became serious. A beginner among beginners. Looking at you, I don't get it. How does a guy like you kill 4,091 people? I couldn't have done that even while reaching the 99th floor in my lifetime. That's because I didn't kill 4,091 people.
Ha!
I shrugged and began to explain. This is what happened. The only person I really murdered was a really bad guy who would later be known as the Flame Emperor. That I was murdered by the Flame Emperor. That luck allowed me to copy his regression skill. That if I stayed there would be no hope for revenge. That I made a decision to go back over 4,000 days. What? Bei Hurayong, who was listening, had his mouth wide open. You committed suicide more than 4,000 times? Just to get revenge on the Flame Emperor? Yes. Bei Hurayong became silent. He had looked dumbfounded at first, but now his expression changed. He looked straight at my face with eyes that seemed to be struggling with something. He was so serious that I wondered if he was the same ghost that was just making a fuss in my 2-pyong room. Hey! After a long period of silence, Bei Hurayong opened his mouth. What is it? What is your name? I'm Kim Gongja. Bei Hurayong let out a groan. Why did you choose the old man? Yes? After you got revenge on that Flame Emperor guy, why did you decide to copy a skill from the old man? Isn't it obvious? I felt uneasy. I couldn't understand why he'd asked that question. He is the hunter ranked first in this era. He's the strongest, so he must have strong skills. That way, you'll get stronger faster? Yes. You can honestly answer my questions as there is no fear of the information leaking anyway. It says on the skill card that no one else but you can see me. It's totally safe, is it not? What? Absolutely. Silence fell in the room once again. Floating, Bei Hurayong wandered through the air around me. He came to the left and stared at my face, then to my right and measured my height. All of it with a serious expression. I frowned, it felt like he wanted to do something weird. Let's see. The physique wouldn't be too bad once it's refined. The willpower is amazing. Sense of improvement is moderate. Knows how to keep his sanity but still unpredictable, ahem, indeed. If it's this much. Bei Hurayong kept muttering to himself. What is he talking about now? From what I'd heard, this ghost seemed to be the Sword Saint's master. And now this master was talking to himself while moving side to side. Hey, Kim Gongja. Suddenly Bei Hurayong flew to my face and called my name. Yes? Show me how you hunt monsters. So I hunted a few mobs. Are you satisfied? I didn't have anything to do in my room anyway. As soon as dawn came, I headed to the hunting ground. Actually, since I died to the Sword Saint and returned to the day before, it meant I had to kill.
Yo. So. Ha!
One more time. So it was necessary to go out anyway. As expected. Bei Hurayong nodded. My expectations were indeed correct. What did you expect? Well, in my past life, I was called Sword Emperor. As dawn broke, Bei Hurayong's voice seemed to echo across the hunting ground. My hometown is not here. You can think of it as a different world. Anyway, just like it did here, the tower appeared in my hometown, and I conquered faster than any other hunter there. I was wondering what you were doing, turns out you were bragging about yourself. Well, Bei Hurayong snickered. So what? Eventually, our world failed to clear the 100th floor. This was written on your skill card, right? Sword constellation. Rank. Effect. A ghost from another world. Cleared the 99th floor but failed the 100th floor and died. The resentment remained, causing him to become a ghost. He cannot interfere with the physical world, but it is possible to tamper with the owner's mind. Seek advice from his rich experience and amazing skills. However, no one can see the ghost except for the owner. This skill was copied from Hunter Marcus Callenbury. Come to think of it, it was pretty amazing. Before I'd returned, the Flame Emperor had only broken through the 40th floor and was considered a legend. What about the 99th floor? The ghost before me was truly incredible. I can tell if you're good or not. How talented a hunter is. I can tell immediately. That's why I asked you, Kim Gongja, to show me how you hunt monsters. Aha. I laughed bitterly. Are you trying to see if I have talent for swordsmanship? Why? There are many stories like this. A story where the main character lives without realizing their talent, then they suddenly fall down a cliff or meet a great master and awaken their true power. A meeting of fate. Tut. You worked in vain. TL, tut is like the sound made by clicking your tongue. Unfortunately, such luck didn't come to me. I don't have any talent for combat. It's all luck of the draw. But now when I die, I can at least copy the skills of other hunters. If I had talent, I would have been out of the F class long ago. Why would I want to live like that? Bei Hurayong frowned. What are you talking about? You're talented.
Yeah.
Tremendously so. Huh. That wasn't the response I'd expected. Hey, jokes too. Are you making fun of me? I'm not joking. Bei Hurayong quietly shook his head. Of course, you have no martial arts talent. Your coordination is poor. Your physique is lackluster and it would take a long time to learn to use aura. But regardless of that, you have a very rare talent. Bei Hurayong's eyes became serious. You're not afraid of death. You just don't have it. Surprisingly, nothing at all. Bei Hurayong stroked his chin. Probably, after dying over 4,000 times, the fear of death disappeared without you knowing. This is also what I expected. You don't realize it, but you're completely reckless when you face monsters. People usually hesitate a little because they're afraid of dying or getting hurt, but you don't have that. Is that a talent? Of course. I got an immediate answer. Innate talents are not the only type of talent. People can awaken talents one by one in their lives. The most difficult of these is the talent to overcome the fear of death. But you have already learned the most difficult thing. It's awesome. I was a bit embarrassed. So far, no one had ever talked to me like this. TL.
Aw.
Gongja is getting shy. I had never thought of myself in this way either. It was just because I'd been treated like a worm by the Flame Emperor, so I was so angry that I surpassed 4,000 deaths. TL, I think he should get to 5,000 deaths, it's a whole number after all. Who agrees? Dying. That was my talent. I just have one question. What is it? When old man Marcus killed you, what were you thinking then? I recalled what had happened in my last death. Only a few hours had passed, so I was able to vividly recall the memories and my emotions. TL, I can't even remember how I felt 10 minutes ago. The night sky, the moon and the wind that was blowing so quietly that no sound could be heard. I thought it was beautiful. It was then. Beihurayong raised his head and laughed heartily. The sound of the laughter was magnificent and it spread through the empty plains. That was funny. Beihurayong's eyes twinkled as he looked toward me. You don't rob skills, you just copy them. In other words, another me is still attached to Old Man Marcus. The old man and you. I wonder which of you will be the greater hunter. I'm a bit curious. I'll help you. Sword Constellation. The ghost that once conquered 99 floors in the tower and was known by the name Sword Emperor, looked directly at me. To the extent that you can get rid of Old Man Marcus. No, to be much stronger than that old man. Then he reached out his hand. Let's conquer the tower. It was the moment my partner was born. What is the most annoying situation when you wake up in the morning? Is it the smartphone alarm you set last night ringing? Is it the stickiness of the greasy oil that stayed in your hair all night? Is it just the fact that you have to go to work again today? Wake up. Wake up quickly. For Christ's sake, a little mo. If you don't wake up right now, I'll start singing a song I love from my hometown. Did you know that I learned music all my life? When I sang a song, over 30 people broke down in tears. Not at all. The worst situation was when there was a ghost fluttering around your home. Look at the time and you're still in bed. What time is it? I cracked my eyes open and looked at my smartphone. On the lock screen, 4:01 a.m. was written in a nice font. It's only 4 o'clock in the morning, you crazy bastard. 4 o'clock in the morning is when the worms wake up and begin to move. You're weaker than a worm, so you should wake up earlier. I guess you were just bored because you can't sleep. I don't know what you mean. Beihurayong looked away as if he'd been caught. Wow. I always wondered why the Sword Saint woke up at 4 a.m. to practice. It wasn't because he was hardworking, it was because you were too noisy. Fine. I was bored alone and woke you up. Better? Thanks to that, if you get up and practice now, it's for your benefit. Come on, bow down and thank me. I want to kill. Hoo. I'm already dead, so you can't kill me. If you want to try, then you'll have to die first. But you can't even die. You zombie bastard. Your name should be Kim Zombie, not Kim Gongja. Damn it. I came out of the apartment dressed in sportswear. In the 2-pyong room, the ghost chattered without rest and I really couldn't take it anymore. For the sake of my mental health, I left my home and started jogging under the dark morning sky. Hook. Zombie Kim. I'll repeat, you really don't have any talent outside of your willpower. Beihurayong floated and caught up to me. I usually prefer to teach from the bottom up. But you don't even have a bottom. Should I say you're the bottom of the bottom? It has been 3 days since I copied the skill, Sword Constellation, from the Sword Saint. In that time I killed. Once more, and avoided meeting the Sword Saint. Now, I was training according to a schedule that Beihurayong had made himself. In terms of talent, you have what we should call the Abyss talent. Cool. So cool. I'm jealous. Hook, when people are running, you shouldn't interrupt them. Let's go. What? The bottom line is, you need special tutoring. And in order to receive special tutoring, you have to pay an expensive tuition. Beihurayong laughed. You're going to get a lottery ticket, zombie. There is a guild called Sangrian. The common name for it was the Merchants' Union. The leader was the 3rd-ranked hunter who was commonly known as Count. As mentioned before, Count is the only player who could send and receive things from the outside world. He was like a one-man company. Thanks to this ability, the Sangreon Guild basically controlled the economy in the tower. What that meant was, "Excuse me." "Yes, guest. How may I help you?" "I'm here to receive my winnings for the lottery." On the first floor, the Sangreon Guild in the city of Babylon was the only one who issued lottery tickets. "Ah. Your lottery ticket won." "Yes, that's right. Congratulations." The clerk who was wearing cat ears bowed toward him, a sunny smile across their face being a bonus. Hey, whenever I see this clerk I get curious about why they're wearing cat ears. The head of Sangreon likes cats. No matter how good a cat is, do you need to make a normal person wear cat ears? He's just a perverted bastard. I can guarantee it. Is that even important right now? Of course the clerk didn't wear the cat ears because they wanted to. They simply didn't have a choice. Be it cat ears or a cockroach's antennae, if the guild master told them to wear it, they had to do so. Oh, for reference, this clerk was a man. The uniform was just unisex. Excuse me, guest, but have you confirmed the date? I'm sorry, but you can't win the prize if the ticket was purchased long before. That's fine. It's a ticket from last week. That's great. It was a lottery ticket that I'd bought right after my discussion with Beihurayon. It was because I intended to win the lottery once anyway, and Beihurayon had passionately shouted, "You need the capital. Then we will begin the identification and verification process." Ah, if I may ask, what place did you win? First place. Yes? The clerk asked reflexively. I got first place. Here, please check the number. Above the head of the clerk hung a billboard. On the billboard the words, "The first prize for the Sangreon Happiness Lottery," was written, followed by the amount of money that was displayed on slots like a slot machine in a casino. 53,000 gold. If I was to use the currency from my hometown, it would be 5.5 billion won. Hey, it's so easy to make money, isn't it? The humming voice of Beihurayon filled the suddenly quiet hall area. Wearing an embarrassed look, the clerk suddenly said, "I've checked the number. No dash, now please wait a minute customer while I call for my manager to take over." "Yeah, take your time." The clerk hurried away into the main area of the building. I could feel people peeking at me and gossiping, talking about my win of the first prize and expressing their envy. Will you be okay, zombie? Won't you get stabbed in a dark alley? I have an idea. I shrugged my shoulders. Hiding it doesn't mean that it'll be hidden. All the hunters who won the lottery were recorded. The same was true even for the Flame Emperor. So everyone could see that he won the first place twice in a row. If it's going to be known anyway, it was better to do it openly. When I won the lottery, I was immediately assassinated. If such a rumor was to spread, the one who would be affected more would be the ones who organized the lottery in the first place. I think the person who got assassinated would be the most affected, but those are just my thoughts. After a while. You've been waiting for a long time, Mr. Kim Gongja. My name is Arthur Taylor. A man who was dressed more professionally than the previous receptionist appeared and bowed slightly to me. His greeting was very polite. However, something that didn't change was the fact that he also wore cat ears on his head. Call me Vault Keeper, and I would appreciate it if you spoke to me comfortably. In Korean there are different levels of politeness depending on your standing and familiarity with the person you're speaking to. He's basically saying you don't need to be too polite. I'm Kim Gongja, and that's a pretty interesting name. Haha. I often hear those words. Then let's go upstairs. The Vault Keeper smiled brightly. No matter how you looked at him, this man was a hunter who was at least in the top 300. But although I was only an F-class hunter who could only look up to him, the vault keeper remained very polite to me. That's how 50,000 gold customers are treated, of course. The ghost made himself known once again. Hey zombie, do you know what I've been thinking about? I think you're too easily flattered because you've never been treated well before. A few days ago when I complimented your talent for dying, you looked so moved. I feel so sorry for you. Shut up, please, just a bit. Men shouldn't be that easy, man. Be like me. You gotta believe that everything in the world is simply for your benefit. No matter how I thought about it.
Yo! So? Ha!
And Bei Hurayong were very similar. They even had similar nicknames. One was the Flame Emperor and the other was the Sword Emperor. Perhaps all the people who were called Emperor were psychopaths. Mr. Kim Gongja. I'm sorry, is there something wrong? The vault keeper asked while guiding me up the stairs. He seemed to be afraid that he'd done something wrong. I hurriedly replied so that I didn't look crazy. No. I was thinking about something. I'm glad. The vault keeper sighed in relief. Your expression wasn't too good, so I thought I'd been rude without my knowledge. When you said no, I felt so relieved. What the? This person, is he an angel? TCH. So easy, it's so easy. I ignored the nagging psychotic ghost behind me. We entered a VIP reception room. The gold coins were already piled upon the table of the reception room, and it seemed that a clerk had come and prepared it in advance. The vault keeper smiled again. This is all the coins that customer Kim Gongja has won. It's amazing. Over 50,000 coins. The room was bright and it illuminated all the coins at once. Just looking at them made my heart swell. A feeling was overflowing within me, though I couldn't really describe what it was. TL, is this love? You can take all of these gold coins, or you can purchase a personal vault from us for safekeeping. What would you like to do? Well, I tried to gather my thoughts. As expected, the magical power of money was great. Frankly speaking, my mouth was watering. But my goal was to stand on top. To be a handsome hunter who was the envy of everyone. Money was just a means to reach that goal. To be a man who controlled money, not a man controlled by money. Kim Gongja. Regaining my calm, I nodded slowly. I'll keep it in a deposit box. That's a very wise choice, customer. The vault keeper was delighted. I always personally suggest this for the winners. I understand wanting to hold all your wealth in your hands, but I always strongly recommend getting a safety deposit box. After all, there are many people who have bad intentions. And I opened my mouth again. I would like to purchase the status of an honorary member of the Sangrian Guild. Yes? The cost of purchasing an honorary membership is 10,000 gold coins, isn't it? I approached the table and rested my hand on the stacks of gold coins. Gold. The color that dazzled the eyes of man. But I already knew a gold that would be even more enchanting, my future. For that future, I'd have to invest these gold coins without restraint. I'll buy it in a one-time payment. The vault keeper studied my face for a moment. Customer Kim Gongja, you haven't joined any other guild, right? Yes. Guild. A hunter guild wasn't simply for socializing. The greatest significance was instead the protection given by the guild. Even if it was the Hunter Bureau or a vigilante. I might get attacked before I could even say anything. I could tell from the way the Flame Emperor and the Sword Saint had killed me. Lawlessness. Compared to the world outside, this place was much more brutal. I shouldn't foolishly follow the footsteps of the Flame Emperor. The Flame Emperor had preferred to move alone. After winning the lottery twice, he wouldn't have had any protection. It must have been a hard and exciting life because many people were after that money. That's why he was poisoned and assassinated later on. It was very pathetic. Why was there a need to compete with the big guilds? Okay. The vault keeper took out a notebook and began to scribble something. Anyone can become an honorary member of our guild for a fixed price. I'll have an employee immediately come and issue you a second-class honorary membership card. Oh.
Yeah.
And I added a bit more. I live in a small, cheap apartment right now. I would be really grateful if Sangrian could recommend a place for me to stay. Of course, I'm willing to pay the necessary price. In addition, you'll probably announce the first place winner in the newspaper. At that time, even if you reveal my name, please ensure that they also report my status as an honorary member of the Sangrian Guild. The vault keeper wrote all the things I requested in his notebook with a blank expression on his face. You are quite thorough, customer. With the world as it is nowadays? I need to be prepared for anything. You're absolutely right. Behind the vault keeper, Bei Hurayong was holding his stomach and laughing boisterously. Hey! This expression of his as he's being treated like this by a pushover. It's so sweet. This is why I love making fun of the elite. No. You were the one who said I was easy. What's the big deal? I did? I'm not sure. I don't quite remember, so maybe it didn't happen. Oh my god. Even if he had to be disgusting, he didn't need to be this disgusting. Anyway, you're doing a good job on your own. Bei Hurayong kept laughing. I was worried that I'd have to clean your diaper and wipe your ass like a baby. But from seeing this, I think you'll be fine. If you don't talk, no one would hate you. Boy, you seem to be in a good mood. That was right. My mouth was grumbling, but my heart was happy. Absolutely. It starts from now on. 4,000 deaths to return 4,000 days. This was an ability of the regression skill that the Flame Emperor didn't take advantage of. Now, it was my time to enjoy it. Hey, zombie. Do you know what's most important when being tutored? I'd like you to first stop calling me zombie. It's the tutoring fee. We finished our business in the Sangrian headquarters and left. It was right in the middle of the day, and the streets were bustling. Retired hunters were busily serving customers in restaurants and cafes. There were a lot of completely empty stores among them as well. The owners of the stores were sitting blankly with their mouths gaped open. People who succeeded would succeed, and those who didn't would not. It was cruel, but it was the unchangeable fact of both Babylon and the outside world. And you just got the tutoring fee. Let's see, so what's next? A good tutor? Nope. There's already one in front of you. Bei Hurayong spoke shamelessly. Without even the slightest change in his expression. A good reference book. You need a textbook that'll help you grow faster. A textbook?
Yeah.
Like a skill tome or an elixir. But there's no way you'll understand a skill tome even if you get one, okay? So the only answer is to get those fucking expensive elixirs. This guy said the right things in such a rude way. Also, I don't deal with cheapo elixirs. Why, was it the Alchemy Castle? There was a guild that doctors and pharmacists were registered in. Get the elixirs made only by their skilled masters. Eck. I know where the store is, so don't worry. There's something that Grandpops Marcus used to go. If we get all the elixirs there. Wait a minute. Why? I lowered my voice because some people were walking by me. Aren't those elixirs ridiculously expensive? Of course they're ridiculously expensive. If you hear the price, your jaw will drop. Bei Hurayong snickered. Should I tell you how much it is? Let's hear it. He whispered in my ear. My eyes widened after hearing the price. It was an astronomical amount. Even if I pour everything I have, I only get 4? Hee. If we buy it in bulk we can get a discount and get 5. They know how to run a business. This is why doctors who know the taste of money are the scariest. It's too expensive. Goodness. I would become poor again. I thought I would be able to live comfortably since I got the first place lottery ticket. Well, what can you do about it? It's because you lack skills. Just think of it all as your fate, humph. Bei Hurayong's face hardened. Gongja. Hide. What? Quickly. His voice turned serious. I found myself behind a trash can at his words. It was a trash can at a restaurant used to throw away food waste. I crinkled my nose. Why are you telling me to hide suddenly? Be careful. It's Grandpop's Marcus. I held my breath. Carefully, I peeked above the trash can to see the street. An old man with tied-back white hair, the current world rank 1 with the detective's insight, Sword Saint, was walking far away. If I get caught it'll suck. My heart pounded. Was it because my nervousness was delivered? Too much talker. Bei Hurayong shut his mouth for a while. Both of us hid behind the trash can holding our breaths, looking at Sword Saint. Again, shut up. Thankfully, he didn't seem to have noticed us. He muttered to himself like always and headed somewhere. Sheesh. Bei Hurayong grimaced seeing Sword Saint enter some building. TSK. That's the best shop. The best shop? Elixirs, I'm talking about elixirs. The best creator set up their shop there. Ugh. Seriously. Everyone else is just a drug dealer. We have to buy it there. Bei Hurayong tapped his feet. This was the first time I saw this ghost actually mad. I was lost in thought next to him. Using the same store as Sword Saint is too dangerous. But, a good store for elixirs. I searched for the top rankers on my phone. There was a list starting from first place. Rank 1. Sword Saint / affiliation, none. Rank 2. Black Dragon Witch / affiliation, Black Dragon, Guild Master. Rank 3. Count / affiliation, Merchants Union, Guild Master. Rank 4. Heretic Questioner / affiliation, 10,000 Temple, Guild Master. Rank 5. Venomous Snake / affiliation, Chenmumun, Guild Master. Rank 6. Babbles Linguist / affiliation, Manhack, Vice Guild Master. Rank 7. Kwangyak Messenger / affiliation, Golden Newspaper, Vice Guild Master. Rank 8. Crusader / affiliation, Civil Militia, Vice Guild Master. Plus. It's not here. I muttered to myself. Bei Hurayong reacted to my words. What's not here? Your luck? No. The opposite, actually. I was overflowing with luck. It might not cost as much as I thought. What? We'll only have to spend a penny to get the best elixir. I grinned. 'Cause I know a really good pharmacist. We entered a dark alley. It was a poor neighborhood. People here had to live here because they couldn't earn money. It was a Harlem neighborhood. The hunters looking our way had abnormal gazes in their eyes. "There's a skilled pharmacist here?" Beihurayon complained, like he didn't believe it. "It's not a skilled pharmacist, but the best pharmacist in history. Take it easy with your lies. Why would someone like that stay here?" Don't believe me if you don't want to. I heard someone clicking their tongue from some corner. It seemed like the hunters looking our way had turned away. They probably thought I was a psycho seeing me talk to myself. Even though people in this Harlem were the worst, they didn't touch mental patients. I smirked to myself. What's gonna happen if they know my wallet's filled with gold coins? It was obvious. They would run at me like wolves. Of course, I didn't plan on telling my wallet's business to others. Smelling the scent of rotting corpses, I entered deeper into the alley. It was then that I heard the sound of something ripping. Please, just don't touch my experiment materials." A young voice. After that, someone spoke in a rough tone. "You've done this more than once now? What kind of bullshit are you spitting out? It's already half a year since the due date. You have to pay the price now." I headed towards where I heard the voices. In the middle of the twisted streets, there was an empty store set up. It was where the people were fighting. Oot. If you take all the tools, I really can't make a living. Let's go, there's nothing to see anymore. Take everything. Gangsters with good bodies got machines onto their rear cars. A young woman looking to be in her mid-20s grabbed onto them to plead. 1 week. Please just give me 1 more week. No, 5 more days. That 1 week became 1 month, and that month became half a year now. As the gangsters drove away, the store owner collapsed to the floor without being able to protest. She held her hand out to the rear cars even when her knees were being scratched. There's still incomplete liquid medicine. Why did we get caught by this crazy pharmacist? Lady. I'm advising you, but don't ever make medicines again. The rear cars creaked and disappeared into the streets. Only the despairing woman on her knees was left. Including me, all the other neighborhood people had come out to watch. They whispered amongst themselves. TSK. I thought that store would fail. The medicine is too expensive. Why is a single health potion 40 gold? She thought business was easy because she's young. Perhaps she had heard the whispers of the onlookers. The despairing store owner whipped her head towards them. Expensive? I only sell it at the original price. She looked quite pitiful. Her hair was stuck to her head like she hadn't washed it in days. The glasses on her face looked like antiques. Even her voice was cracky. Only our store sells these kinds of medicines at this price in Babylon. Why, you should actually be grateful that I set up my store here.
Yeah. Aww.
She's still not living in reality. Sheesh. Does she think she's better to say that? The onlookers shook their heads and the crowd dispersed. The store owner, who looked like no one would like her, was still there. Wait. Since you're all here, how about a bottle of health potion? With my special potion, even an almost dead hunter can flop back to life. I won't buy it, I won't. She tried to grab onto the onlookers, but it was too late. The water was already spilled. They cursed and disappeared. It has really good effects, it's not a lie. She plopped on the ground. Hey! Beihurayon muttered after seeing that unpleasant scene. Is the historical pharmacist you talked about that loser? What are you going to do if it is? I'm going to sincerely worry about your welfare. thinking, this kid's brain must have gone weird after dying 4,000 times. And then I'll introduce you to the best therapist in Babylon. I snorted. You should have worried about my welfare when I started to see ghosts. That owner is definitely the historical pharmacist, so don't worry. That's not a historical pharmacist, that's a historical loser. You crazy bastard. Beihurayang spoke loudly, but I ignored him. I walked towards the owner who was sitting on the floor. Excuse me. You. She looked up at me. She looked even more pathetic up close. Her clothes were all too long for her. But since she was wearing a white coat, you could tell she was a pharmacist and not a beggar. Store owner Nim. You're still selling, right? Tien, store owner Nim is a way to address store owners respectfully in Korean. Of course, this person wasn't a beggar. She wasn't an ordinary pharmacist either. If you're still selling, there's something I want to order. Lord of Alchemy Castle. She was a pharmacist who would rise to rank 5 status in the future. Right now, she was outside of the rankings, but she would definitely succeed. It's all right if it's a bit expensive. Yes. Yes. Of course. I can make you anything. The color came back to her face. Her store had been on the brink of going bankrupt, but there was a customer saying they would buy expensive medicine. But how expensive are you talking about? In the future, she was a pharmacist that I couldn't even think about buying from, but this time was different. I want to buy about 20,000 gold worth. She dropped her mouth open. So what if she looked pathetic? To me, she looked like a goose that laid golden eggs. And 100% pure gold ones at that. I smiled. What are you doing? You need to take the order, store owner Nim. I would be your sickening regular now. It's a bit shabby, but please come in. The pharmacist shuffled her feet. The store was messy, like a tornado had passed through it. It's really shabby, but... She wasn't over-exaggerating. There were broken glass bottles all over the floor. Shelves were on their backs, and the books had all fallen out. The dust floating around was a bonus. It was a wreck. Wow. Beihurayang exclaimed. When I was alive, I used to hear that I was untidy, but this is way above my level. Their cleanliness sure is trustworthy. Hey, do you really want to eat the elixirs this lady makes? Are you really going to order 20,000 gold worth items from me? Beihurayang and the pharmacist asked me at the same time, like they had planned it. I smiled bitterly. If you don't believe me, should I pay in advance? Why, you don't need to go that F. She waved her hand around and paused. No. Actually, if it's possible, advance payment it is. Her face was completely red. She was embarrassed at herself for saying this. But this was how bad her situation was. Take as much as you need from my safe. I'll tell Sangrian in advance. As much as I need. She blankly mumbled. Yes. But my wealth isn't limitless. I'll be grateful if you keep it under 20,000 gold. What kind of medicine are you? Was she scared because of the amount of money? She was happy, but also seemed anxious at the same time. Pardon me, but I can't make drugs. Because of my beliefs, making drugs is really, if you came to order drugs, I'll refuse. Oh ho. I thought to myself. She's someone who fits the title of alchemy master well. There weren't a lot of people who could refuse thousands of gold that was right in front of them. Especially if they were about to go bankrupt. But she firmly said she wouldn't make drugs. This pharmacist looked weak outside but was actually quite strong inside.
Ha!
They're definitely not drugs, so don't worry. Then that's a relief. Specifically, which medicines are you looking for? I looked at Bei Hurayong. His mouth had been shut since we entered the shop, like he didn't like something. He sighed after looking at me.
Ha!
Well, fine. She doesn't look like a skilled child, but I'll tell you the recipe. He should have said it earlier if he was going to come out like this. Listen. Bunny pig's liver and a balloon cat's eyes, and the shedding of a desert worm. I'll let you know from now. Bunny pig's liver, balloon cat's eyes, and... I delivered Bei Hurayong's recipe to her. Please wait a moment. I'll write it down. She frantically wrote it down. There were about 23 different materials. As the recipe got longer, her face turned more serious. Well, this is enough for the recipe. How it's made depends on the skills of the pharmacist. This is enough for the recipe. She quietly looked at her notebook, biting the back of her hand. If these are combined, it's something that intensifies reflexes. Not something that relaxes, but stimulates. No, I guess it's more of an awakening. Bei Hurayong looked at the pharmacist. The pharmacist continued to speak. It's an extremely complex combination. It might just be my mistake, but you would like these to be made not with dried or frozen materials, but with the most fresh materials, right? Yes, that's true, but... I nodded my head. That's correct. I knew it. Usually, there's a minute amount of poison in the desert worm's shedding. One of the ways to lessen this effect is to use the bunny pig's liver, but this has to be... She excitedly spoke. The stuttering lady in front of me disappeared, and was replaced with a chatterbox.
Yeah.
There were people like this in the world. Her method is wrong, but she's a skilled person. Someone who ran into the subject that they liked at full speed and achieved great results. I didn't dislike experts like this. In how many days can you have it ready? The conversation that seemed like it had no end got cut off. She blinked like she came to attention. It was like she had fallen into her own little world when she was speaking. Sorry. I saw a pretty combination like this for the first time in a while and... It's all right. So how long will it take? If the money is enough, I can have it ready in 4 days. I would usually be able to get it to you faster, but I have to get new tools. 4 days. I can wait that long. Before I regressed, it took about 1 year to be able to get medicine from this person. 4 days was nothing compared to that. Hey. I still can't approve. Bei Hurayong continued to complain when we left the store. There's a lot of people who only know how to speak like experts. Those kinds of people end up being drug dealers. We're gonna waste money. So where did you learn that recipe? It's a combination I made myself. The best elixir that I made after drinking countless poisons myself. It's a precious elixir that you can't drink in your world even if you want to. I grinned. The pharmacist said it was an extremely high-level combination. She's able to tell the true worth just with a glance, so just trust her. Even if she looks like that right now, she is going to be in the highest position of Alchemy Castle 10 years later. Bei Hurayong shut his mouth. You just cursed me in your mind, huh? This ghost is trying to hurt an innocent person now. I pretended not to know what he was talking about. He was uselessly too quick for his own good. 4 days quickly passed. During that time, the pharmacist continued to take away money from my safe. Someone came from Sangryung to ask if it was really alright, but I told them to let her be. Even if it cost a lot of money, if it was for medicine made by the Lord of Alchemy Castle, it was nothing. Zombie. Wanna bet? Geez, what this time? That lady's gonna run away with the money. I guarantee it. I don't know about anything else, but my eyes can tell what kind of person someone is. That lady looks like a thief from birth. Quickly, commit suicide. Zombie. Kill yourself 4 times and return to 4 days ago. Clearly, the ghost couldn't read people. On lunchtime of the 4th day, the pharmacist came to my room carrying the elixirs herself. Sorry. I wanted to give it to you faster, but it took longer than I thought. It's fine. You said you would make it in 4 days anyway. That's good. The pharmacist bought 3 boxes of elixirs. If I drank it 3 times per day, it would last for 30 days. If we went to the store Bei Hurayong wanted to go to, we would only get 2 days worth. This was an increase by 15 times. And the effects are probably better. This was how you should spend money. I subconsciously smiled. Yes? I know it's weird asking this now. But why did you leave such an expensive order to me? She twisted her fingers. Oh, of course, I'm confident in myself. Looking at the recipe, I think there's only about 2 people in Babylon who can make this, but people only treat me like a freak. The reason why I left it to this person. It was because this person was the genius of the century. The guild master of the alchemy castle. I had calculated to have some connection to the person who would grow to be the master of a large clan someday. However, that's not all. Before I regressed to 4,000 days before, when the Flame Emperor had set fire to the slums. At the time, someone had arrived before anyone else to control the fire, even though she was one of the highest rankers. Helping the people, Lord of Alchemy Castle had muttered. That Flame Emperor, I don't like him. He gives me bad vibes or something. Talking about someone's back here isn't nice, but I still think Saintess could meet someone better. Someone who had seen Flame Emperor's real self. She probably just guessed it with her senses without any evidence. Even if that was the case, she had the outstanding ability of reading people. She was skilled, nice enough to run immediately to help people in danger, and could read psychopaths. Wouldn't it be a waste not to be close with this kind of person? I opened my mouth. Because you seem nice. What? I helped you because you seemed nice. Well, you probably would have made it big even if I didn't help you. But shouldn't kind hunters like us help each other to grow? We can't let psychopaths be the only ones to succeed. That's unfair. Store owner Nim and I should work harder. I said exactly what I felt without telling any lies. I couldn't be more honest than this. Now, it depended on how the other person accepted my words. She stared at my face and spoke. I see. Yes. Since we have to succeed first to change the world. It was a determined tone. Thank you, Customer Nim. As you said, I'll work harder too. Her fist was clenched. If you have anything more to order, contact me. I'll always prioritize your orders. I'll be grateful for that. We both smiled at each other and turned away. Unfortunately, my smile didn't last for long. Ho ho. I haven't seen a hunter who called himself nice in a while. And I've never seen someone accept it like that. Hey, are you guys crazy? TSK TSK TSK. You're not in your right mind. I know I said something embarrassing, so let's just start training. The next day, we headed towards the hunting ground. I took a sleeping bag and plenty of elixirs in my backpack. If there was something different than normal, it was that I was on the 3rd floor hunting ground and not the 2nd floor. There were lots of monsters that were still too much for me to deal with. Orcs and goblin hordes hovered around. I looked at them from far away. What do I do from now? Drink your elixir first. I nodded my head. I gulped down the elixir that was the tumbler I brought without any hesitation. The taste itself was normal. It tasted good, like honey and lemon were added to it. The moment I thought it was a relief that it tasted good. Thump. My heart beat faster than normal. At first, I thought I was hallucinating, but I wasn't. Sweat dripped down my back. The most interesting fact was that I could feel each and every drop of sweat on my back clearly. What is this? Thump. It wasn't just the sweat. The touch of the air on my fingers and the feeling of the ground I was stepping on. When I blinked, it felt like 30 seconds. This is effects of the elixir. Only Bei Hurayong's voice felt the same amongst everything that felt different. It slows down what you feel. It's easy if you think that it extends your time. I don't want to admit it, but that lady is pretty good at making elixirs. It was horrible. I could feel each strand of hair moving on my body. I could even feel the veins in my ears twitching. If I didn't know, I would think that I drank poison, and not an elixir. Can't you feel it? What are you talking about? The thing moving in your heart. Thump. There was something there. No, something was flowing. And it wasn't blood. It was softer and more frail than blood. But it definitely flowed in my entire body. It was slowly spreading from my heart. Something that I had never felt before. That's aura. Bei Hurayong spoke. All hunters in the tower have aura in their bodies. They just live not knowing it. How much you're able to feel this aura and control it is what determines victory. Bei Hurayong laughed. The laughter lasted for 20 seconds. It was probably only a short second, but somehow it felt like 20 seconds to me. I felt tired, like I would fall over if I just let go. Usually, you get used to this feeling by quietly training by yourself. Inside of it, something big approached. But that'll take too long. Boom. Footsteps. Even the footsteps seemed long to me. When I lifted my head to see, a big orc was heading towards me. A talentless body like you has to suffer a bit. This damned. All right. If you don't want to be hurt, use your aura, Kim Zombie. You have to train with real things. You're not gonna kick the bucket anyway, so what if you get a little hurt? This, ghost, really? I can't hear what you're saying because you're a loser who can't even use aura. He burst into laughter again. Are you in anguish? Kill yourself if you don't like it. Oh, then your kill count increases from 400. Then Grandpops Marcus will hunt you over and over again, huh? My partner was really a bad bastard. Roar. The orc bellowed. It could have been a short growl and not a bellow. But to me, it sounded like a long echo. 50 seconds. In that time of about 1 minute, the sound of the orc rang in my ear. Ku, UK. It was a head-splitting pain. Hey. Focus. Bei Hurayong was ever the same in that slowed down time. Don't get scared by a guy like an orc. Orcs are just stupid strong, their attack patterns are simple. If you can tell where they'll attack, you can easily avoid them and fight back. It's a fucking piece of cake. That's easier said than done. He's coming. The orc swung his club around. No, he was swinging it. It slowly but surely approached my head. If I stayed still, my head would explode.
Shh!
I jumped to the side with all my strength. But my body didn't follow my command. I'm slower. Just one step. I could avoid the attack with just one step, but that one step was too slow. I felt frustrated. I was so frustrated I felt like crying. I could avoid it. I even knew where it would attack. You can avoid it. Don't give up. Beihurayung spoke in a low voice. Focus your aura on your feet. Amplify your senses. Like the flow in your heart is being sent to you right foot, quick. Damn. He's a ghost, but his mouth is blabbering like it's alive. For the first time in my life, I felt what aura was. How would I focus this on my leg? It was really easier said than done. But there was no other way. I had to do something. Even if I wasn't scared of dying, I didn't want my head to fall off because of the orc's club. Move. The flow in my heart. It felt cool and clean, like a flowing stream. I focused on that cool feeling and tried to send it down to my right leg. Squirm. The aura in my heart twitched with my efforts, but it's harder than you think, huh? It was hard. It's because there's no pathway for aura in your body yet. The path hasn't been made. Your body can be compared to a mountain road. You need to clear it like a highway to be able to use it. Hup. I continued to focus on my right leg while Beihurayung babbled on. If my heart was a blocked sink, my right leg was like a cup under it. Drip. Drip. Aura slowly dripped off of the broken sink. You're able to feel it because you ate the elixir. Under normal circumstances, it's impossible. TSK. That lady's cleanliness is disgusting, but her skills are definite. The club whooshed close by me. I could feel the wind when it went by. The wind collided with my skin and dispersed. 1 second. No, if I was late by 0.5 seconds, my body would have been destroyed by that club. What? Relief only lasted for a moment. Happens. The orc grunted. He probably didn't like this. The fact that a weak-looking prey like me had dared to escape his attack. He immediately raised his club again. This time, it was a horizontal attack to break my back. There wasn't any time to rest. I focused my aura on my upper body. What happens what? If make a mountain path into a highway. It was hard. The sink in my heart was still clogged up. I didn't see water flowing from it any time too. I was thirsty, but it was only releasing one drop at a time. I don't want to admit it, but Beihurayung is right. A mountain path without anything around it. It was a perfect metaphor that described me. So I was curious. If I could leave this level. If I could escape. After, what happens? He smirked. You. When Grandpops Marcus killed you, your neck was cut without even a chance to fight back, right? Yes. I remembered the view of the night sky and the crescent moon. Beihurayung's words dug into my brain. You can think of that as a clean street. A clean street. That beautiful attack was just a clean street. Even Grandpops Marcus has a long way to go. And you, let's not even talk about you. Zombie. I'm not nagging you because my personality is like trash, it's because you're worth being nagged. He. I clenched my teeth. Obstinance grew inside me. Hup. I bent over. Whoosh. The orc's club swung into the air above my back. It was close. I barely avoided the second attack after the first one. And I didn't plan on letting it get in another attack. What? I gathered strength in my knees. Look at you. I focused my aura on my feet. Not just focus it, but bend it. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. 1 second. It was messy, but when aura gathered at my feet, I jumped up with all my strength. I lifted my sword. The target was the orc's Adam's apple. Guo? He looked down at me confusedly. I saw my reflection in his eyes, and the sword that was in my hands. My sword became bigger in his eyes. In an instant, my sword cut his throat and the orc's face crumpled in pain. Cry. Until the evening sky. In the large hunting ground, a scream rang out. When I thought it was finished. Don't let your defenses down until the end. Bei Hurayong shouted. The skin of an orc's skin is tough. Fix your aura on your blade. No, that's probably too hard. Just hit it like you're smashing it. And so I did. The orc's scream became more violent. I squeezed out every drop of aura in my heart that I could and used it to smash my sword down. Every time I brought it down, the monster's scream became more pained. Quo, G-A-K-R-R-R. Blood splattered everywhere. The blood of the orc covered my face in slow motion. I didn't avoid it. I didn't even blink. It was to save every last bit of aura for the sword. D-E. In a short moment, I felt the sword pierce the orc's skin all the way to the opposite side.
Grrr.
R-R. He stumbled. Even the time that he stumbled was long. He slowly fell backwards. I didn't let go of my sword, so when the monster fell, I fell with him. Who, K, UK? Hup. I panted looking at the orc's corpse. It wasn't just the tired breathing. A moment later, my entire body became pained. The world spun. It really felt my entire body was going to rip apart. Ugh. Does it hurt? It hurts, right? Yup. It'll fucking hurt. Bei Hurayong smirked at me while flying around me. Since you used your aura when your pathway wasn't cleared yet. There's no way your weak body could take it. Sucks to be you. Why, you? But it was nice seeing you bending your aura at the end. Good job. I'll compliment you. You have to be creative when you use aura. A lot of people are misled, but the smarter you are, the better you fight. I wasn't curious about those things right now. Cook. This pain. A pain like my bones were being crushed and my veins were exploding. My only interest was how to quiet this feeling. Usually, it would pass with time, but because my time was extended, that wasn't an option. It just hurt. It still hurt. I felt like I was going to die. Does it hurt like you're going to die? Can't you see? Then you'll feel better if you really die. What? People who force their aura usually become half disabled. This can't be fixed with potions. So right now, you just made yourself disabled to catch an orc. What? I told you, zombie. If you didn't have the regressing skill, I shouldn't have suggested this kind of training. Grandpops Marcus eats elixirs too, but he trains by himself. He doesn't stupidly attack monsters like you. This ghost bastard? But you return even if you die. It's the freaking best. Even with extreme training, your body is fine. Wow, I'm jealous. How nice would it have been if I had a regressing skill like you? Wow. How could he be so spiteful? Did this guy have a passive skill like son of a bitch or impudent manner? That would explain his trashy personality. Zombie. But if you kill yourself, your kill count increases again. And so? There's no need to raise your kill count from here. And it's dangerous if you get caught by Grandpops Marcus. A worrisome sound came from behind. It was something I heard before not too long ago. I looked back, and my bad feeling was right. A monster that looked like the orc that just fell was drooling behind me. MN. The monster was the same, but my condition wasn't the same. As Bei Hurayang said, my body was half disabled now. Even lifting a finger was painful. It's okay. There's a lot of players who can't understand Aura their entire lives, and you somewhat got it just by taking the elixir. If this keeps up, 100 deaths should be more than enough. Step by step. Bei Hurayang sniggered. Let's go zombie. 1 death coming up. At the same time, the Orcs Club started to come down. Slowly. Targeting my head. Looking at the club right in front of my nose, I open my mouth. Shit. Have you ever felt your nose break, and then feel your brain explode into 2 right after that? You probably haven't. That's a relief. Because it's really not a good feeling. If there was a silver lining, it was probably that I heard the voice right after my brain exploded. You have died. My world returned to normal. To be precise, my sense of time returned. Phew. A pitch black area. The space where I stayed until my next regression. In the place that I was somewhat used to, someone that I didn't like was floating around. Bei Hurayang. Dang. What's this? Somewhere I stay after dying. I picked my skill cards here when I was killed my Flame Emperor and Sword Saint. Well, I'm calling it Nether World for now. Fucking cool. Bei Hurayang spun around the dark space. But zombie. Why am I here? Why would I know? It's probably because you're on me now. I sighed. If we wait like this, I'll regress with a voice that tells me I'll return to 24 hours before. Oh right. I'm curious if you also. It was the moment I was going to say I was curious if he would regress with me. The skill condition has been achieved due to death. The monster orc skill is being randomly copied. Huh? What? Bei Hurayang and I stopped at the same time. We both turned to look at each other. Bei Hurayang looked baffled, and my face probably had a similar expression. Skill cards are being created. 2 bronze-colored skills popped out from the darkness. I stupidly mumbled to myself looking at them. Monsters had skills too? And Bei Hurayang shouted. What is this? It's a fucking cheat skill. The voice continued to speak regardless of the blabbering ghost. Please select a skill card. This was real. 2 orange bronze cards started to fly. They began to speed around me enough to make me dizzy, but my mind was on something else. Shit. What kind of cheat is this? Getting to copy all the monster skills as well is unfair. Hey. Who's the person that manages this tower? Why didn't you give this skill to me and to this lame-ass kid? Let's be quiet now. Come out. This doesn't count. My anger. Bei Hurayang whipped his arms and legs around in fury. It was just hideous. He was no different from a child that was angry because their candy was stolen. He was so hideous that it was a wonder he could be that hideous. Sheesh. I should just focus on my cards. I observed the 2 cards flying in the air. Both of them are poop-colored cards, so it's not gonna be a good skill, but my heart pumped. Goodness. The skill of a monster. I could share the same skill as a monster. I felt like I had done something covert, like I played a prank on someone. I'm curious. I stretched my hand out. Let's just pick one of them. And it was then, when I was just trying to grab any one of them. Huh? You're getting that? The ghost bastard couldn't stay out of it and interfered again. My excitement faded away. Geez. His ability to bring someone down was really amazing. Yes. It doesn't matter which one I pick anyway. Why doesn't it matter? Behu Ryong looked at me past the cards. Since you're getting a free ride anyway, you should get a good skill while you're at it. I can't tell which is the better skill. They're both poop-colored. This is just a game of luck. What? How come you can't tell which is the better skill? Geez. You're especially bad at understanding today. I shouted in frustration. The colors of the cards are the same. I can only see their backs. There's no way to tell between them, so how should I know which one's the better one? Then Behu Ryong tilted his head. But I can see it? What? I can see the front of the cards. Behu Ryong spoke in a shameless voice. I was stunned into silence. What kind of bullshit? Is what I was going to say, but I realized in the middle of my sentence. Location. From my location, I could only see the back of the card. Even when I tried to look around, the cards looked the same. Like how you couldn't tell which was the back of the moon on Earth, I could never see what was on the back of the card. But that was just me. Behu Ryong moved as he wished in this dark space.
Yeah.
He could move to where he saw the cards. Goodness. I muttered. Can you really see it there? Can you see the card summary? Behu Ryong furrowed his eyebrows. Of course I can see it. What are you saying, looking at my eyes? I was famous for having good eyesight since I was young. There was a guy called Dog Poop in my village, right? So he shot a firecracker at me, but my sight was already good enough to avoid it. Eventually, I raised it up to heaven eyes.
Ha!
That was how perfect Eureka! Fuck! Did this kid go crazy? Why are you screaming? Behu Ryong was surprised, but I didn't care. Eureka! 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 I was just happy at the luck that came my way. Behu Ryong looked at me strangely and clicked his tongue. This kid's brain really rotted like a zombie after calling him zombie. TSK TSK TSK. What Behu Ryong told me was this. Blessing of reproduction. Rank E. Effect. Nature has given us shelter, but also trials. This cruel world. Orc reproduction has amplified to defeat nature. An orc was killed? Don't worry. There's still 9 more where you can't see him. However, you are frequently aroused. Chike, chick. Rank F. Effect. We added a chick to the end of our sentences, chick. We don't know why we do this either, chick. But you should get some of this chike too, chick. The orc lifts his thumb. Then you won't be able to escape from the chick fun cheek. However, chike chick. Wow. Poop-colored cards. They were all lunatic poop skills. I couldn't stop being amazed. How's that? If I didn't stop you, you would have chosen the chike chick. Gongja, you were born as a man. You should experience the power of an orc at least once. Say thank you to me. Go ahead. I was even amazed at what the ghost said. That meant I was out of it enough to be amazed. I ignored Beihurayong, deep in thought. If I have to pick, I think chick is better. Huh? Are you crazy? No. I'm right. I nodded my head. I was completely sure. No matter how much I think about it, I think chick is more useful than blessing of reproduction. Hey. Wait. Think about it a bit more. You have to be cool-headed. Smirk. I laughed at the fumbling Beihurayong. I think you're thinking the same thing as me. Before Beihurayong could try to convince me anymore, I grabbed the poop-colored card. The cards quickly flew around, but it didn't matter. Since there were only 2, anyway. Selection complete. The skill is being copied. You are regressing to 24 hours ago. No. Yes. Beihurayong and I shouted in harmony. Your current hunter rank is F class. You will not receive a penalty based on your skill. At the same time, the dark world became brighter. My eyes burst open. I felt refreshed. This is nice. People need to sleep well to relax. This was no longer the 2-payong room that I used to stay in. It was the room that I requested of Sangrian. It wasn't spacious, but it was a big enough hotel room. After being chosen for the first place lottery ticket, I decided to stay here for the time being. Meanwhile. Damn. I thought you would fall for it, but you're uselessly smart. Beihurayong kicked the air around me. I guess he was angry that he wasn't able to prank me. Just by looking at him, my mind became relaxed like I was looking at a painting. Let's see, let's get the elixirs, status window. I no longer had any reason to waste my time. I checked my status window on the way to the hunting ground. Name, Kim Gongja. Rank, F class. Skill, 4/4. I want to be like you, S+ passive. Returner's Clockwork Watch, EX passive. Sword Constellation, passive. Chick, F active plus. Good. There's no problem. My skill slots were full. But it was okay. I could just replace it with chick. I'll use you as much as I want to until I get my next skill. Gongja. So I was thinking, I think it'll be okay to train just sitting crisscrossed. There's no need to train until you die, right? Crisscrossed. Mental training. How cool is that? Hoo. We arrived at the 3rd floor hunting ground. I could see orcs roaming around from far away. Grrr. Chick. I observed their locations and pulled out the elixir. I drank it all in one gulp from the warm thermos. Hey. Gongja? Can you hear me? We should just quietly train. Even if we train in a crisscrossed position, I'll help you understand aura in half a year. Just trust me. Kia. Tastes good. It was only the 2nd time drinking it, but I already got used to it. It seemed like the pharmacist had specially taken care of the flavor when she made the elixir as well. I waited for the effects of the elixirs to take over me. Sword Emperor. Did you know? Huh? What? You're gonna sit crisscrossed? You call me zombie when it suits you, but you call me Gongja when you have the shorter end. And from earlier, you were calling me Gongja, and not zombie. Thump. I'm kindly telling you that so you fix that habit of yours. As soon as I stopped speaking, the world flowed slowly. My heart thumped. I could feel a faint flow in my heart along with it. Aura. The effects of the training definitely showed. Unlike last time, I immediately clearly grasped aura right away. Who, oh.
Hoo.
I controlled my breathing and approached them. Flinch. The orc's ears twitched after feeling someone's presence. The large green monster slowly turned around. GRK? The orc's eyes were bigger. He seemed confused. From his perspective, prey was walking on its own feet towards him. KRRRRR. The orc lifted his club like he decided to gladly accept this luck. That was when I smiled to myself. Your skill is being activated. I opened my mouth. Ick. Chick. Pause. The orc's eyes were bigger than before. His club stopped mid-swing. Chirk, chike? Ick? The orc tilted his head. He seemed to be wondering how to accept the fact that his prey was speaking his language. Of course, it was impossible to understand with the IQ of an orc, and my IQ wasn't lacking enough to throw this chance away. Chike. The language of orcs perfectly poured out of my mouth. It was a skill that made native speakers defenseless. KRR? Irk? The monster in front of me was even more surprised. It was clear he was so confused that he didn't know what to do. When I ran at him, he couldn't properly react. My sword smoothly cut the orc's throat. I added a single drop of aura on the sword blade that wasn't too much or too little. A fountain of blood exploded and the orc fell over. Irk. Chick. Like it felt wronged. If it was translated to human language, it would have been equivalent to even you, Brutus. Chirk. I had a victor's smile. Forcing aura out of my body still hurt, but the condition of my body was incomparable to last time. I was okay. If I used just this much aura, I was fine. You cheating bastard. I knew you would do this. Bei Hurayon trembled. Do you lie tricking the nice orcs like this? Huh? You don't even think about how the orcs feel. The innocent orcs are hurt because of dirty humans like you. I didn't repeat what he said about it being fine to train using any method. Instead, I just said a single word with a smirk. Chike. Arg. This is so annoying. Why did you give such a cheat skill to this weak-ass guy, O Tower? When 1 week had passed, I passed the hunting ground on the 5th hunting flood. A week passed. Gore. The monster stumbled, making the sound of a pot boiling. A king goblin. The senior member of the 5th floor had fallen. I looked down at the king goblin's face with determined expression. Gore. This monster was the strongest of the ones that I saw this week. How many times had I died to get this monster? I sent away the king goblin with the mind of sending away a brave enemy warrior. Stop bullshitting yourself. You psychotic zombie. Jeez. I barely managed to hunt this after 6 coins. Can't you just let me look in peace? 6 coins meant that I had put 6 lives on the stake. Right now, I was on the 6th coin, so I had died 5 times to get this king goblin. Bei Hurayon snorted. You're a psycho if you get lost in thought like that after catching a monster. I only speak facts. Wow, I see. Our Sword Emperor's personality is so nice. You might be able to tell from our conversation, but I was used to aura now. Time was still flowing slowly because of the effects of the elixir. It was just that I was speaking a lot faster than normal by focusing my aura on my tongue. Gork. Although it wasn't a steadfast victory and one that I used dirty tricks to win. I pulled out a poop-colored card and checked it. Goblin High Society. Rank F. Effects: the King Goblin was lost at thought. The level of culture for us goblins is too low. All languages end in kerk, kirk. I cannot show my dignity with this. Then, the King Goblin's genius mind flashed. That's right. From now on, I will speak Gork and not Kirk. Gork. It's a pronunciation that perfectly fits the precious king. However, the fights within the tribe become worse. This is a skill copied from the great King Goblin monster. I clicked my tongue. Goblins worry about the most unnecessary things. Kirk and Gork is basically the same thing. That's why they're goblins. Humans aren't that different either. What? I was talking to myself. When I was about to ask him what he meant, a voice rang in my head. Your existence is becoming clearer. It was a voice that I had never heard before. However, I knew what it meant. Countless players had testified to it, and even showed their own videos about it. Finally. It was leveling up. Hunter Kim Gongja's level is developing. It was moving. I had lived my entire life as a F-class hunter. I was anxious that I might continue to live like this. But I had the copying skill and the regressing skill, and after hurdles of pain, the moment of leveling up finally arrived for me. Your skill slots are increasing. Your hunter rank is now E-class. Although I was only an E-class. May luck be with you. Swoosh. Red aura flamed up from my feet. The thing that was similar to red liquid covered my body. Then, it slid back down and disappeared. Was that a firework? Bei Hurayong scrunched his eyebrows. Or blood? That's confusing. I think it's either a firework or blood. That was just a level-up artifact, right? It's not an artifact that just looks cool. Bei Hurayong scratched the back of his head. It's a kind of hint. Hint? The type of artifact that reveals itself decides the shape of aura. Even the Flame Emperor that you killed. That guy's shape was probably fire. Fireworks, you say? I tried to remember. The scene of the Flame Emperor killing the Saintess with fire in the slums. It wasn't a good memory to rehash, but it definitely seemed like. Dealt with a shape of aura that was relating to fire. A hunter's trauma is usually based on the shape of their aura. Trauma. Important events. Scenes. Memories. The ones that benchmark your life appear as the shape of your aura. Like the shape of one's unconsciousness? Well, it doesn't have to be a negative trauma. But they generally are. I wonder. From what I can tell, yours is either fire or blood. Listening to him speak, I became curious. Now that you say that, what's the shape of Sword Saint's aura? Moonlight. Bei Hurayong casually tossed it out. Grandpops Marcus said he lost his way in the mountains when he was young. He didn't want to die, so he climbed all the way to the top, and as he reached the peak, the leaves covering the night sky started to show the sky. When he got to the top, he saw the entire black night sky. Moonlight. He said he thought of something then. The moon didn't shine by itself, but with the light of the sun. Even the life of someone who just accepts could be more than beautiful. I also want to shine by receiving that light. He said it was memorable enough for him to keep it in his heart his entire life. I was unsettled listening to his story. But he said it was when he was young. Yup. When he was 12. What kind of 12-year-old would have those deep thoughts? Bae Hurayong nodded. That's why Grandpops Marcus was a born boomer. TSK. When I was 12, I only thought about how to efficiently crush the bully in front of me. No, I don't think that's normal either. If Sword Saint was a born boomer, then what was Bae Hurayong? A born bully? Anyways, you're used to the 5th floor. Let's go up to the 6th. About that. I spoke. Can't we just go straight to the 10th floor, boss? What? I know that I can copy a monster's skill. I'm somewhat used to the aura now. I think that I can get the 10th floor, boss, now. Bae Hurayong closed his mouth for a moment. He looked fiercely at me. Kim Gongja. Is a newbie already being too arrogant? Definitely not. I firmly replied. In our world, no one had succeeded in passing the 10th floor for several years. Since I dared to say I would clear that high difficulty area, Bae Hurayong's worry about me was expected. I'm really confident. But I really believed I could do it. No, I was sure. If I can't do it with 2 coins, I'll call you Sisungnim. Oh. 2 coins? Bae Hurayong looked tempted. A guy that took 6 coins to catch the goblin boss is gonna defeat the 10th floor boss with just 2 coins? Really? You must not know, but I don't let people out of bets that easily. But I have a condition. I lifted my forefinger. You have to tell me what kind of skill the 10th floor boss has without hiding anything. You can't lie about this. Tricking me with cards is also not allowed. Sounds easy enough. Also, I grinned. And if I win, call me Gongnim. As politely as possible. With respect. Why? Scared?
Ha!
If you're scared, you should quit. Squirm. The expression that a bully hated the most was probably scared? And Bae Hurayong wasn't a normal bully. He was the greatest bully that had climbed the 99th floor. His facial muscles twitched. Spit. This newbie is mocking the Great Sword Emperor just because he had some cheat skill? Hoo, fine. Let's bet on it. Bet. Kim Zombie, you won't be able to subjugate the 10th floor boss and have to call me Sisungnim until you die. But since you can't die, you'll just have to say Sisungnim forever. Do you have a hallucinating skill as well? Get ready to serve Gongnim. Hee. We both glared at each other and laughed evilly. Hunters who had been hunting goblins from far away whispered amongst themselves. Hey! That person keeps on talking to himself from earlier. And now he's even laughing to himself. Does he have a mental problem? Shh! He might look this way. Pretend you didn't see, pretend. I would probably have to cut back on talking to myself now. I calmly shut my mouth and headed for the 10th floor. Unlike other hunting grounds, there was a doorkeeper in front of the 10th floor boss room. The person sent from the Hunters Association furrowed his eyebrows listening to what I said. You want to attempt the boss room yourself? Yes. It only took 2 seconds for his face to switch into an expression like he was asking, who is this crazy guy? I don't know if you saw the news last time, 30 honor members from Black Dragon Guild. Along with the 4 highest rankers, they failed. Hunting by yourself is committing suicide. So what? I was confident. Sending a hunter to an attack they want to is the association's rule. That's true, but... He had a troubled expression. Pardon me, but I write down all the hunters who enter here. My boss will probably look through this, and I'll end up being a bad guy who let a hunter die. Please consider my situation as well. What should I do? I calmly stroked my chin. What? Hunters Association? We never had those guys in my world. I meant to say that I was the only calm one. These stupid fools. I didn't like how they did fucking politics making guilds and associations. That's why they are still begging on the bloody 10th floor. Hey, Kim Zombie. Just beat this guy up and go into the boss room. Why would I beat up an innocent person? He dares to block your way. He wasn't only a psychopath but also a mosquito. Doorkeeper Nim. I clicked my tongue inwardly and got out a pocket. I can see you working hard. You're right. Me attempting it by myself is just a suicidal plan. But, I really want to kill myself. Excuse me? I'm just so tired these days. I bitterly smiled. My girlfriend died 1 year ago. Some time ago, the alchemy castle said I have a terminal illness. Even if I live, it'll only be half a year, and I don't have the confidence to endure that half year without my girlfriend. What? Bei Hurayong grimaced. What kind of shit is this zombie guy saying? I ignored him. And I continued whispering to the doorkeeper. But even if I'm a lowly ranker, I'm still a hunter. I don't want to enter the alchemy castle's hospital wondering when I'll die. Even if I die, I want to challenge a monster until the very end. You had that kind of... He had a pitiful face looking at me. You know. The face people make when they listen to others' misfortunes. This is money I collected to fight. I handed the pocket to the doorkeeper. There was 100 gold inside. I don't have anywhere to use it anyway, you can have it. I can't accept this money. I want to lightly leave the world, doorkeeper Nim. And please don't write down that I entered here. It's the last request of my hunter life. His face turned heavy, like he was going to cry. And a bit of that heaviness was probably from that money bag. All right. Enter. I didn't see anything.
Ha!
Look at this. He was baffled. Hey. Are the two of you filming a movie? This isn't a prank, right? Whatever the case, the doorkeeper let me in. I left him and moved inside. It was a cobblestone path. The place the 10th floor boss stayed was like an extravagant residence of an old noble family. I walked the cobblestone path. The 10th floor Flame Emperor.
Yo. So? Ha!
Cleared. I stood in front of the large door. I slowly pushed the door open. This time is different. Instead of Flame Emperor, no. Creak. The door opened with a loud sound. I'll write a fancier legend than Flame Emperor. I took a step forward. And it began. I heard laughter from around me. At the same time, the door that I used to come in closed. Boom. In an instant, it became dark around me, and the shiver-inducing laughter became louder. Candles flickered on one by one. Are you gonna play with me? Here and there. Candles flickered on although no one had touched them. Where candles were lit, there were dolls. Small dolls that children players with. Are you going to play with us? The dolls spoke. Freeze tag? The flower had bloomed? Hide and seek? The ice is melted. The flowers are ripped. Let's go with hide and seek. Let's play with us. Play hide and seek with us. I got ready. All right. I'll play with you. The aura that I trained in my body soared up. Like it had been waiting for me, a voice rang in my head. You have entered the boss stage. The challenger/S is Hunter Kim Gongja. One person. May luck be with you. The stage that humanity hadn't cleared yet. The hide and seek of Hellfire residents began. Black Dragon. The guild that had ruled at the top since the tower opened. We didn't fail the 10th floor because we lacked the abilities to. The rank 2 hunter who controlled Black Dragon. She challenged the 10th floor tens of times. Every time she challenged it, she failed. The rank 2 hunter lost, but she saved all the hunters who participated in it. In an interview, she said this. We were just unlucky. When Flame Emperor had passed the 10th floor himself, he announced to everyone. Luck is also a skill, losers. It was the interview called Loser Announcement. After that, Black Dragon started to be wary of Flame Emperor after being turned into a loser group. Well, it wasn't important anymore.
Yo. So? Ha!
Had already died in my hand. The possibility of that kind of interview was gone now. But the problem was this. Why was the Flame Emperor able to clear the 10th floor? Because he was just stronger? Or because there was another reason? The answer was revealing itself in front of me right now. 2. The boss stage is commencing. At the same time the voice rang out, the residents started to change. Everywhere, candles started to tilt over. Fire started where they tilted over. It was like they had poured oil on it beforehand. Fire instantly swallowed the Western-style residents. Only the dolls were fine in the fire. You're it. We'll run away. Let's run away, run away. Let's run away from here. Hundreds. No, thousands of little dolls. Dolls filled the first floor lobby. There were probably 10,000s of dolls all over the entire residence. One of these. Gulp. I swallowed my spit. The real doll is hidden somewhere. A probability of 1/10,000. This was the reason why people had failed so far. Burning all the dolls while I find the real one. If I escape before I die, I only have about 10 minutes to look. The fire burning the residence wasn't normal fire. It was a shape of aura, called Hellfire. That meant this entire residence is burning up with aura. A boss monster who knew how to use aura. So far, people who challenged it died from Hellfire, escaped, or met one of these two fates. Hunters risked their lives on the probability of 1/10,000, but it was a waste. They only burned to death with horrifying screams. And here was the secret why only the Flame Emperor was able to succeed. That guy sucking all the luck. I muttered to myself. Yes. The aura of the boss monster was the same Flame Emperor's. To other players, this was Hellfire. However, Flame Emperor felt comfortable like it was his own bedroom. Since the 10th floor's boss monster's Hellfire was the same property as.
Yo. So? Ha!
Tisk. He probably looked around until he found the real doll. And he bragged about it saying luck was also a skill. He definitely wasn't someone I liked. The hunter that lives off of luck is you. What do you mean, I live off of luck? I crinkled my eyebrows at his mocking. I'm barely hanging on with my aura right now. Sweat dripped down between my eyebrows. The burning heat. My body was covered in what was incomparable to the heat of a hot spring. If I didn't use my aura, I would have burned to death already.
Yeah,
but 1 minute is probably gonna be your limit. Annoyingly, Beihurayung knew my exact condition. Also, Grandpops Marcus would be able to last 30 minutes. Do you know why he hasn't challenged here yet? It's to extend that 30 minutes to 1 hour. Ah, yes, yes. Thank you for confirming the gap in our skills. He. Beihurayung freely flew around the lobby that was burning in fire. Dolls were laughing below and ghosts were snickering above. There wasn't a better ghost house than this. So? You only have 2 coins, but what are you gonna do now? What else would I do? I have to die. Look at you. Do you think your aura will suddenly increase if you die here? Beihurayung sniggered at me. There's only 2 ways to clear this room. Find the real doll with luck, or be able to use aura real well until you find the real doll. But you only bet 2 coins on yourself, stupidly. It's not gonna work probably. Even while sweating, I kept my smile. This guy knows 1 but not 2. No. Is it that he knows 2 but not 3? What? Let's see who'll win after dying once. Now I had 20 seconds until my aura ran out. I approached a doll that was closest to me. The reason was, well, I didn't really have one. I just thought it was boring to stand there waiting to die. I just might have been real lucky for the doll in front of me to be real. Are you gonna play with us? Creak. The doll's neck twisted. Only her neck twisted. It wouldn't be strange if she was casted in a horror movie right this second. She was wearing a frilled dress, but her dress didn't burn at all. Like it was immune to the fire. Got you. I put the doll's head on my hand and spoke. Giggle giggle. The doll let out chuckles with her indifferent face. Beep. Not me. That wasn't the only thing she released. Let out lips. Skin, eyes. Her body slid down like paper. The fire instantly swallowed the doll, and she continued to speak like a broken record. Not me. Not me. Not me. Not me. Me, not me. Not me. It completely melted down. Wow. I was speechless. My body felt hot, but I was shivering. It was more horrendous than I imagined. I got goosebumps. Why would they make the boss monster like that? Who would know the great meaning of the tower? Zombie. A weak ass like you getting a fucking cheat skill is also a meaning of the tower. If the tower had a personality, it would probably be a pervert psychopath. You really? I couldn't complain any longer. Cook. My aura had run out. The flames ran at me like they had been waiting for this moment. The soles of my shoes melted first. Then my clothes. And the fire moved onto my hair. Ah. From my head to my feet. Ack. Ack. My entire body was burning. Although my skin was sliding down, the fire didn't stop. Rather, it clung on me tighter like it found a delicious snack. Nerves. Bones. Throat. Liver. Ow. Shh. UK, keek. And you're a pervert that surpasses the tower. Cool. Even if you want to be the greatest hunter in the tower, you accept burning to death like it's nothing. I admit it, Kim Zombie. You're a real pervert. I wanted to die. Quick, I wanted to die even a second faster. You. I couldn't speak. The sound was muffled. My eyes and ears had been burned. The moment I felt like my head would explode from overheating, the voice came from my subconscious like it had been waiting. You have died. Damn. They should have killed me a bit faster. Pooh hua. I breathed like someone who had just surfaced after a long dive. Although I hadn't really let out a breath, and it was just a feeling. This was the nether world. It was the black place my bare body roamed like a ghost. Your death has satisfied the skill condition. The monster Hellfire Maiden's skills are being randomly copied. And it was a place of opportunity for me as well. Skills cards are being created. Cards floated up in the black nothingness. Was it something unexpected? Although it was a boss monster, there was only one golden card. All the other cards were silver or poop colored. Let's see. You haven't forgotten your promise, right? I know. Sheesh. Do you see me as someone who would break their promise? Don't worry. Bei Hurayong smirked. Let's see. What kind of skill does this lady have? Bei Hurayong floated up and headed towards the opposite side of the cards. He was letting me know the information on the cards in advance to me. Oh ho. Hey, this one's lit. Bei Hurayong read the golden card. Hellfire Trap. Rank S. Effects, regrets. Resentment. Complaints. What you couldn't do, the voice that you couldn't say, the wishes that you weren't able to achieve. Burn them all. It's hot. Is it hot? Make the world a clump of fire. I feel like I'll die. Die. If you want you, the aura's hellfire will descend anywhere within 2 kilometers of you. No one can leave the hell without your permission. No one. However, you have to be within the radius. It was a scary skill. This one's definitely it. Zombie, shut up and get this skill. Hey, Kim Zombie. Why is there no reply? No. Nothing. I knit my eyebrows. I don't know why, but there's something off about it. What was it? It was an amazing skill. But there was something off. I felt uncomfortable, like I had choked on something and couldn't get it out. The feeling of the water pipe being broken but not knowing where it was. Anyways, read the next skills. I don't think there'll be a better skill than this. Can't you just pick this? There's a skill I'm looking for. Come on, quickly. Humph. He pouted, but he read the rest of the cards. All right, listen well. Labyrinth Plan, Class, Doll Controller, B Class, Target Attack, B Class, Trap Installation, C Class. Pause. He was smoothly reading the cards and cut himself off. The last skill. Bei Hurayong's eyes shook at the shining silver card. Fuck? I smirked. That's right. No, it's not, wait. It's fine. I got it. You don't have to read it. I was sure. That was the card I wanted. Please select a skill card. The cards started to fly around. They were fast. But I had focused on one card from the beginning, and it didn't confuse me. Hey. Gongja. Hey. Let's not be like this. Bei Hurayong continued to shout, like he knew. Look at this. Wow, a golden card. Wow, S-class skill. Dope. If you have this, you can make hellfire when you want. How cool is that? I don't know. Why don't you know? I'll fall in love. If I was a girl, I would fall in love at Kim Gongja, your charm. Let's get it. Let's go, Kim Gongja's celebrity life. I grinned. You should have realized something was strange. There were clues. Out of the 10,000s of dolls, there's only one real one. The real one is the user of the skill, so of course, they won't be damaged. I held out my hand. But why are the fake dolls fine as well? And I grabbed the silver card. Ayok. No. No. Shit, no. There's only one answer. Sword Emperor. I flipped over the silver card. Night and day fire caution. Rank A. Effects, ow, that's hot. If we leave this alone, our house will completely burn up, right? But now, you don't have to worry. The living and non-living things you choose will be immune to the fire and not burn. However, damage from water and ice increases by 300%. Yup. The 10th stage. Hide and seek of the Hellfire residents. The boss didn't have just the ability to burn things up. Let's go. They also had the opposing skill, not making things burn. I clenched my fist and let myself be drowned with victory. I came. I saw. I conquered. No, no, sob. This isn't right, this really isn't right. Bei Hu Ryong's mentality collapsed. What do you mean it's not right? With this skill, it's over if I make myself immune. I can slowly look for the real doll now. Game over. From today, you'll have to call me Gong Nim. Damn, shit, fuck, this is a scam. It was set to be like this. Yua Wawa. Call me Gong Nim now. My voice rang in the dark space. A voice that wasn't mine rang out as well. Selection complete. The skill is being copied. You are being regressed to 24 hours ago. It was the celebratory message that signaled my win in the best. Now, I could return to a day and challenge the 10th floor again. Clearing it was right in front of me now. Your current hunter rank is E-class. However, that wasn't the end today. You will receive a penalty due to your skill. Huh? Oh. Right. It was the alarm I didn't see when I was rank F. But this time, for the first time, I received my first penalty. I wondered which penalty would be given. The trauma of your enemy is being reenacted. The extremity is weak. Hell Road. Trauma? I tilted my head at the unexpected word. What does it mean to reenact the trauma of my enemy? Before I could finish speaking, the world in front of me turned white.